You think you're tired. You think you've hit your absolute limit. You think you've given everything you have, but science, and one very scary man, says you're lying to yourself. Most of us are living at 40% of our true capability. We have a governor in our brain that screams, "Stop," the moment things get uncomfortable. We live in a world that tells us it's okay to be soft, it's okay to give up, and that our trauma is an excuse to fail. This book is the antidote to that softness. It isn't a self-help book. It's a war manual. It's the story of a man who was beaten, abused, called racial slurs, and was functionally illiterate, who then transformed himself into a Navy SEAL, an Army Ranger, and an ultra-endurance machine. If you feel stuck, if you feel like the world is unfair, or if you just suspect that there is a beast inside you waiting to be unleashed, don't go anywhere, because today we aren't just summarizing a book. We are going to callous your mind. Let's look at the problem. We live in a society that is addicted to comfort. When we feel pain, we take a pill. When we feel sad, we scroll social media. When we fail, we blame the system. David Goggins calls this the softening. The core conflict of this book is simple. Life is suffering. It is unfair. It is brutal. And if you wait for someone to save you, you are going to die waiting. The danger isn't that you will fail. The danger is that you will live a life so comfortable and soft that you will die without ever realizing your true potential. You are leaving greatness on the table because you are afraid of the dark. But what if the darkness was actually the fuel? Now, here is the wild part. You might think this guy was born tough. You might look at David Goggins and think, well, he's just built different. Wrong. He was born broken. He was a scared kid who wet the bed until he was in his teens. He was 300 pounds, spraying for cockroaches for a living, and drinking chocolate shakes for breakfast. He didn't succeed because of his genetics. He succeeded because he invented a system to hack his own brain. And today, we are going to break down that system, chapter by chapter. Chapter 1. The Nightmare Reality. Imagine a childhood so dark that your own father tells you, to your face, that you are worthless, and forces you to watch him beat your mother senseless. That isn't a movie. That was Goggins' Tuesday night. Goggins grew up in hell. His father, Toughness, was a pimp and a tyrant who beat David and his mother constantly. David grew up with severe learning disabilities, toxic stress, and was the target of brutal racism in rural Indiana. He was born to fail. This chapter introduces the concept of toxic stress. When a child is raised in a war zone, their brain is permanently in fight or flight mode. This limits memory and learning. Goggins wasn't stupid. His brain was traumatized. Most people take this trauma and build a victim's mentality. They use their past as a permanent excuse for their present. Imagine an 8-year-old boy being forced to work nights at a roller rink until midnight, barely sleeping, and then failing school the next day. He cheats on every test just to pass. He is so terrified of his father that he wets the bed every night. He is the definition of at risk. Here is the part that stings. Goggins says, "I should have been a statistic." And many of you are letting your past define your future. You are letting your bad hand be the reason you fold. Inventory the bad hand. Write down every bad thing that has ever happened to you. Every abuse, every failure, every disadvantage. Flip the script. Don't hide from it. Own it. This is your origin story. This is the fuel you will use to burn down obstacles. But realizing your life sucks is only the first step. To change it, you have to look at something very specific. And it's hanging in your bathroom right now. Chapter 2. The Accountability Mirror. There is one person who will never lie to you. It's not your mom. It's not your priest. It's your reflection. At his lowest point, overweight, uneducated, and terrified, Goggins created a ritual called the Accountability Mirror. He stopped sugarcoating his life. We live in a culture of fake positivity. If you are fat, people say you are big-boned. If you are stupid, people say you test poorly. Goggins argues this softness destroys us. To change, you must acknowledge the brutal reality of where you are. You cannot fix a problem you refuse to name. One night, Goggins stares into the mirror. He sees a loser, a guy with no future. Instead of looking away, he shaves his face and starts yelling at his reflection. "You are fat. You are dumb. You are going nowhere." He writes his goals on post-it notes and sticks them to the mirror. Not, "I want to be an astronaut," but practical things like make your bed and lose 2 pounds. If you look in the mirror and you are fat, tell yourself the truth. You are fat. It's okay to be cruel to yourself in the short term if it wakes you up to fix the problem. Self-esteem comes from earning it, not pretending you have it. Go to your mirror tonight. Look yourself in the eye. Tag it. Write your insecurities and your goals on post-it notes. Stick them on the glass. The rule: you cannot take the note down until you have accomplished the task. Goggins started fixing his life. He joined the military. But then he got comfortable again. And to wake up, he had to attempt the impossible. Chapter 3. The Impossible Task. How do you lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months? You don't. Unless you have to. Goggins leaves the Air Force and balloons to nearly 300 pounds, working as an exterminator, spraying cockroaches. He sees a documentary about Navy SEALs and decides he wants to be one. The recruiter laughs at him. He is too heavy. He has to lose 106 pounds in less than 90 days to even try out. This chapter is about the impossible task. We all have a limit on what we think is possible. When we face a task that exceeds that limit, we quit before we start. But Goggins realized that the limit is a suggestion, not a rule. By doing something that seems impossible, you change your brain's architecture. Imagine a 297-pound man running. He runs a quarter mile, stops, and goes home to cry and drink a chocolate shake. That was Goggins. But he went back. He stopped eating. He ran. He biked. He swam. He worked out for hours every single day. He turned his body into a machine of suffering. And he made the weight. I wasn't born with talent. I wasn't gifted. I was obsessed. You are not lacking potential. You are lacking obsession. You want the result without the suffering. The 3X rule. Find something you think you can't do. Do it. The comfort zone challenge. Do something that sucks every single day. Run in the rain. Wake up at 4 a.m. Callous your mind against discomfort. He made the weight. He got into SEAL training, BUD/S. But physical strength wasn't enough. He needed to learn how to steal a soul. Chapter 4. Taking souls. This is the most aggressive psychological tactic in the book. How do you beat an opponent who holds all the power? You break their spirit by enjoying the pain they inflict on you. During Hell Week, 130 hours of physical torture with almost no sleep, Goggins learned to take souls. This means performing so well with such a good attitude that your instructors, or enemies, become terrified of you. When you are being tortured, physically or professionally, the oppressor expects you to break. They feed on your fear. If you smile while you are suffering, you flip the energy. You rob them of their power. You show them that they cannot hurt you because you have already accepted the pain. Psycho Pete, a brutal instructor, is thrashing Goggins' boat crew. He expects them to collapse. Instead, Goggins rallies his team. They start lifting the heavy boat press overhead, chanting, "You can't hurt boat crew too!" The instructors are confused. They are exhausted just watching these guys. Goggins realizes he has taken their souls. He owns real estate in their heads. Taking someone's soul means you've gained a tactical advantage. Stop acting like a victim when your boss gives you hard work. Do the work so well that they are confused by your excellence. Identify the opponent. Who is trying to break you? A teacher? A boss? Life itself? When they pile on the pressure, Smile. Work harder. Exceed their expectations so drastically that they look at you with awe. But even with a soul-taking mindset, the body breaks. And Goggins was about to face a hurdle that mindset couldn't fix. Or could it? If you're feeling exhausted just listening to this, good. That means you're paying attention. Most people stop here. They say, okay, work hard, got it. But they miss the nuance. Goggins didn't just work hard. He broke his body. He ran on broken legs. He did things that doctors said were impossible. This next part is where we learn about the governor, the secret mechanism in your brain that is holding you back right now. Chapter 5 and 6. The Armor and the Governor. Your brain has a safety switch. It's designed to keep you alive. But in the modern world, it's keeping you mediocre. Goggins introduces the 40% rule. When your mind tells you that you are done, that you are exhausted, that you cannot take another step, you are only at 40% of your actual capacity. The governor is the part of your brain that limits pain. It's like the governor on a car engine that stops it from going too fast. When you hit a wall in a workout or a project, that's just the governor kicking in. It's a warning light, not a stop sign. You have 60% reserve tank left. Goggins decides to run the Badwater 135, a 135-mile ultramarathon through Death Valley, to raise money for fallen soldiers. But he has to qualify by running 100 miles in 24 hours. He hasn't trained. At mile 70, he is destroyed. Kidneys failing, peeing blood, pooping himself. He sits in a lawn chair, done. But then he remembers the 40% rule. He realizes he is just buying into the pain. He stands up. He walks. Then he runs. He finishes 101 miles in 19 hours. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. The reason you quit isn't because you can't do it. It's because you are scared of the pain required to tap into that other 60%. Push the wall. Next time you are working out and want to stop, do 5% more. The governor check. When you feel done, tell yourself, this is just the governor. I have 60% left. But how do you access that energy when you are truly empty? You need a stash. You need the cookie jar. Chapter 7. The Cookie Jar. When you are in the darkest hell of your life, you need a source of energy that never runs out. You need to eat your own past victories. The cookie jar is a mental reservoir of all the hard things you have overcome in the past. When you are suffering, you reach into the jar, pull out a memory of a time you survived, and use it as fuel. We forget how badass we are. When we face a new challenge, we focus on the fear. The cookie jar forces you to focus on your resilience. It shifts your focus from, I can't do this, to, I have survived worse. During that 100-mile run, when Goggins was broken, he started pulling out cookies. Cookie 1. I lost 100 pounds. Cookie 2. I survived 3 hell weeks. Cookie 3. I learned to read when everyone thought I was stupid. He reminded himself who he was. He wasn't a victim. He was a warrior. And that energy got him to the finish line. We all have a cookie jar inside us, because life has always tested us. Stop looking for external motivation. The motivation is in your history. Fill the jar. Write down a list of every obstacle you've overcome, every exam passed, every injury healed, every hard conversation. Use it. When you want to quit, read the list. Remind yourself who you are. Goggins became a SEAL. He ran the races. He broke the world record for pull-ups, 4,030 in 17 hours. But the universe had one last punch to throw. Chapter 8-11. Uncommon amongst uncommon. What happens when you reach the top of the mountain? You realize there is another mountain. And this one might kill you from the inside. Even after becoming a SEAL, Goggins wasn't satisfied. He wanted to be uncommon amongst uncommon. He went to Army Ranger School and graduated as the enlisted honor man. But then his health failed. A hole in his heart, severe hormonal issues. He had to rebuild his body from scratch, using stretching and patience. This is the concept of the finish line is a myth. There is no point where you make it. Complacency is the enemy. If you stop growing, you start dying. Goggins teaches that even when you are elite, you must reset to zero every day. Goggins discovers he has a congenital heart defect, a hole in his heart. He has been operating at half capacity his whole career. Instead of quitting, he gets surgery, rehabs, and learns to stretch his body for hours a day to fix the damage he did. He reinvents himself again as a wildland firefighter in his 40s. Greatness is not something that if you meet it once, it stays with you forever. You have to rent it every single day. Schedule it. If you want to be uncommon, you have to manage your time. Stop multitasking. The after-action report. When you fail, don't mope. Analyze it. Write down what went wrong and how you will fix it next time. Let's pause. If your ego is hurting right now, pay attention. You might be thinking, this is too extreme. I don't want to run 100 miles. I just want to be happy. Goggins would tell you that you are missing the point. This isn't about running. This is about the fact that you are willing to settle for being a mediocre version of yourself because you are afraid of a little pain. You are the creator of your own reality. And right now, you are creating a reality where you are the victim. Stop it. So, where does this leave us? David Goggins started as a scared, abused kid with no future. He ended up as the icon of mental toughness. He didn't do it with magic. He did it with the armored mind. Here is the core lesson of Can't Hurt Me. Your mind is the weapon. You can callous your mind just like you callous your hands. By voluntarily seeking discomfort, you build the armor that protects you from life. From this book, here are the 5 challenges you need to start today. The accountability mirror. Tonight, look at yourself. Tell yourself the harsh truth. Tag the mirror with your goals. The 40%. Push. In your next workout, when you want to stop, go 5 minutes longer. Prove the governor wrong. Build your cookie jar. Write down your victories. Keep them accessible for the dark moments. Take souls. Find a task you hate. Do it so well that you shock the people around you. Schedule suffering. Do one thing every day that sucks. Cold shower. Early wake up. Hard conversation. Pain unlocks a secret doorway in the mind. One that leads to peak performance and beautiful silence. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Stay hard. If you want to turn your commute into a university and your downtime into growth, make sure you subscribe. We break down the most powerful books in the world so you can build a better life, one chapter at a time. See you in the next one.